I know you've saw the thumbnail, but don't worry, the channel isn't turning into a fitness and sports channel. There's a reason to the madness. Let's get into it. So as a few of you know, I'm going to be ditching Dobby in October and I'm going to be walking the West Highland Way. As it stands just now, my fitness is just where I stay. It's pretty urban, there's no many parks, there's no many places you can walk about, especially with a backpack on, to get some training in. So I've basically been using a walking pad, kind of like a treadmill but slower, and there's no handlebars and stuff like that. But for the most part it's been fine, and I've been doing that with a backpack on and I've been putting weights in it just to get used to the way I go into the West Highland Way. But the treadmill hasn't been totally reliable. So if by pure divine intervention, I was talking to my friends over at Bluetti and I was telling them I was doing the West Highland Way, and that's when they turn around and says that they've actually partnered up with Walking Pad and would I be interested in trying out one of their treadmill walking pads. And at first I was taken aback because I was like, most of my reviews are for camper van, power station kind of things, so I didn't really know where a treadmill was going to fit in, and then it literally just hit me. It might help with my training. Walking Pad is a massive company that specialise in treadmills and walking pads, and have done so for many years, and I figured for my better training sessions, let's use better gear. So I want to give a massive thank you out to today's sponsor, Walking Pad, in partnership with Bluetti, for supporting today's video. So you'll probably notice there's nothing in the van to unbox because we need to go in the house and do it, so let's go. And this is the reason why I couldn't own it in the van. So guys, this is the Walking Pad X218 from Walking Pad, so let's get it home. It's definitely a first for the channel, having to unbox something in the house. I think the best way is probably just to lay it flat. So when you're doing this, you probably want to have someone helping you. It's just me today, so I'll need to manage. So it's well packaged, so in the box, manual. And we get a wee box as well that says tools on it. So they've actually given us two different power cords. So one of them is for the UK, and I'm guessing this one's for America with the two prongs. And we get, I'm guessing this is going to be the wee security strap. Basically clip it to yourself. And then if you're running and you want to fall off kind of thing, this would just pull out the treadmill. That's pretty cool. Some lubricant oil, that'll be for the track. Allen key, and a wee holder. Guessing that may be for your phone. I've not even opened it yet and I'm already impressed with it. So I would recommend, when taking it out of the box, try and get someone to give you a wee hand, because it isn't the lightest. But as you can see, standing itself, nice and sturdy. So first impressions, this just screams premium. Let me show you something. So this is the one that I've been using, pretty bare bones. Look at the height difference. Plus this one doesn't fold. And the problem with this tiny one is I've found myself going left or right and then slipping on the side, which makes you then slip. So this is what I was originally training on, whereas that's a lot more wider and I feel a bit more safer using that. So the X218 has a large weight capacity at 136 kg. The rated power of the treadmill is 1400 watts. The body material is made from an ABS and aluminium alloy. The front panel is an OLED screen, and display feedback on the OLED screen is time, speed, distance and calories. It also boasts a double fold technology, and it's got a top speed range of 11.5 miles per hour or 18 kilometers per hour. Also benefits from overload protection, automatic standby and child lock functions. And the total weight of the unpacked treadmill is 61 kilograms. And so before you unfold it, it's probably a good idea to have a wee look at the quick start guide, which tells you how to unfold it and how to download the app before you start. And so to drop it down, you just grab the yellow handle, it releases it, and then you just drop it down, pull over the second part, and you will feel a wee bit of resistance from the belt. Just make sure it's lined up and then drop it down. So this is supposed to be a walking pad, but it looks more like a treadmill. So if you can see under here, we actually have these handrails. Oh, look at that screen. And in the middle we've got a nice rotary wheel that also acts as a button as well. So let's now cover some of the features of the X218. As you can see, we've got wheels on the bottom for easy transport around the house. The X218 also follows a dual folding space-saving design, which means you get the full benefit of a walking treadmill as well as being able to store it away nice and neat. On the bottom you've got adjustable feet which screw out and screw all the way in. So to get the right height for these, you just want to make sure you unscrew them until they're touching the floor and nice and rigid. You've got these unfolding handrails so you can walk or run at your own pace, but you know that you've got these safety rails beside you just in case you're struggling a wee bit. There's also an added phone holder at the back so you can add your phone or your tablet, and you'll probably notice this feature in a lot of commercial gyms with the safety key cut-off switch, which means that if you're in trouble you can just pull this key out and it just stops instantly. But also to note as well, the treadmill won't turn on without the key being inserted. And on the top you get this nice glossy black OLED display, which we'll get into in a wee bit. And the X218 only has one button which spins 360 and there's a button as well when pressed. The X218 can also sync to a mobile app as well, and the other massive feature is it can sync with your Apple Watch. So before you plug in the treadmill, just make sure the treadmill is flat. Attach the power cord and plug it in and then hit power, like that. When you boot it up for the first time, this is what you're going to see on the LCD screen. I mean, come on, look at that display. That is sick. I've been in a lot of gyms and I've never seen an LCD display like that on a treadmill before. So not only is the OLED panel touchscreen, it's also got an LCD screen on the actual button. Check that, with lights. But let's get into actually what you should do before turning the treadmill on. So let's touch on maintenance of the treadmill. Every treadmill that I've ever used, and even in commercial gyms, you're always going to have it where the belt slips to the left or it slips to the right. So you do need to lubricate the treadmill every so often. And fortunately, Walking Pad do supply you with a 20mm lubricant as well as the Allen key to basically turn the wheels, but I'll show you how to do that. And so the adjustment screws, that's the right hand side one and that's the left hand side one. So if for instance the left side was pulling to the left, plug it in, turn it to round about there. And again, if the pad was slipping, you would use the Allen key and go into the adjustment screw and turn it a good half turn, and in the other one. So to get it turned on, make sure that the safety clip is in. On the dial, we just want to press it in. So on the left, you've got time, speed, distance, and calories. P for program, M for manual program. You've got 3, 6 and 9, and these are basic increments of the speed, so it'll go 3 km, 6 and 9 km. But I mean, you can alter it with the jog wheel as well, which I'll show you. And the blinking light's the Bluetooth, and it's telling us the app's disconnected, so let's get that connected. So when you download the app, it's going to be KS Fit and it looks something like this. So if you want to change any of the settings and want them to save on the treadmill, you are going to have to log in to the app. So we'll do that now. So after you log in, you'll get a home page like this, and if you press the top right plus symbol, it'll add device, and then you should see the X218 show up. So let's go to connection, and then you can see that it's just automatically connected with the treadmill. So the OLED display in front of you is actually touchscreen as well, and while you can touch and do everything on here, you can actually set it on your phone as well. I would probably stick to doing it on the treadmill just because I think it's a lot easier. You can go and set targets, so you can set how many kilometers, you can set your time, and you can set how many calories you want to burn. And if we go to settings, the first option you've got is child lock, so let's turn it on. So for instance, if you're exercising and you have to step off and your kids are in the room, just to stop any accidents happening, this will lock the treadmill out so the kids can't come on and use it. The next time we've got buzzer, so if I try and turn this dial, it's going to beep. So basically we can turn that off and then it no longer beeps. Next we've got marquee light, so after turning off the marquee light, the machine will no longer display the lighting effects, which I'm guessing is the LED strip, so let's turn it off. Yep. So I would rather keep that on, I like that. And then below that you've got firmware upgrade, so ours is up to date. Belt calibration, so it does actually give you the steps here. We've got product encyclopedia, so basically just an FAQ and manual, and about the equipment, model number, model code, etc. And then in the middle you've got a go button which will start the treadmill. So below that you've got program, and if you click in here you can actually see all the template programs. So there's a massive program list to get you going, or you can create your own. How cool is that? So you can do it for treadmill or walking. The one that I'm more interested in is metric. I don't really like running in kilometers, so I want to see if I can change that to miles. So let's see if we change it to imperial, does it change on here? And then done. So it says it will take effect after the device is restarted, and then hopefully it should say miles on the display. So this is primarily where the walking pad's going to be, and the iPad's going to be going there, and I do have the old Gary for a wee bit of wind. So let's go our first walk. If we hit P, we'll get all the different programs. As you can see on the right, it's giving us 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'll put a list of all the programs on the screen now. But for this, we'll just go manual. To change the time, you can go clockwise, which adds more to the timer, or you can go anti-clockwise and it reduces it. We'll just put it 5 minutes just now. To switch to distance, we press M again, and then it shows up here, and we can go all the way from 1 kilometre all the way up to 65 kilometres. And then if we press M again, we can then set how many calories. So we can go from 10 calories, so 999 calories. And then once you've got all your settings done, press the top button once. Pretty cool. And then you're off. So we'll pick the speed up a bit, and to do that you just turn here and you'll see the speed going up. So let's go to 4. Do you know, let's go to 3, I'm being a bit modest. As you saw, it just instantly went down to 3. So what I've just noticed that I quite like is when you do your calories, it counts down the calories. I quite like that. That's new, I've never seen that in a treadmill before. So looking at the LED light, as you can see, it's travelling. And I'm guessing this is a progress bar. So as you can see, I've been going for 4:45 and the progress bar has went up. So there is a fan in here, which is helping cool down the device, as it does output quite a lot of power. So that's pretty nice. Setting number 5. 7, number 8, 10, 12, 13. I'm not going to lie, when I saw it said 11 mile an hour or 18 kilometres per hour, I thought that's not that fast. I could only get that to 13, but thankfully when you're going at that speed, pressing one of these will get you down a lot quicker and safer, because you're just going to be like try to get the speed down. So it was a lot easier than using that to change the speed. It is a dual folding treadmill, so you think that you would feel the fold in the middle. You can kind of feel it, but it's not to the point I think I'm going to fall off. But for confidence wise, you do have these wee handles to hold on to, so if I was getting in trouble at that 13 km per hour run, I could just grab these. So when you're using the device as well, so if you press the button once, it'll pause, and then after 10 minutes it'll actually just shut off completely if you don't unpause it, and then to restart, press it again. And you will need to press it to go back up to the speed you were at. So I'm guessing that's just a safety feature, so that if you forget what speed you were at and you had to go and answer the phone or something, so you don't come on and then just fly off. And then to turn it off, press pause and then hold the button for 2 seconds. You'll see it says end. So if you were to fold the treadmill on the screen, it's going to say fold, and on the button as well. So let's look at the safety key in action as well. So we'll start it up. It just stops instantly. So the OLED screen says safe and the button says safety, and as you can see, nothing works while the safety clips out. So if we put it back in, everything's usable again, and when you put it back in, it just resets the panel. So when it comes to the Apple Watch, there aren't really any clear instructions on how to do it. However, this is how you do it. So the first step is install the KS Fit app onto the watch using the watch app. Go down to KS Fit, reconnect. It says connecting, and you can see the treadmill pop up. And then hit go. And you'll see everything's already starting. So on your watch, it's actually going to have all the same features here. This should track your heart rate a lot more accurate than what it does on here. So as you can see, it says 3 miles per hour on the watch. So it did change to miles. So you are able to change it from kilometres to miles. And we also have miles per hour now as well. And everything matches on the treadmill as well. Let's try and see if we can turn it up from the watch. There you go, 3.3. So it isn't full Apple integration, but it does integrate with your Apple Watch, kinda. So I did say at the start of the video, this is a sponsored video by Walking Pad in partnership with Bluetti. So as part of the partnership with Walking Pad, Bluetti wanted to show how well the Walking Pad integrates with the Bluetti line. So the Walking Pad is a 1400 watt treadmill, so we're going to need something nice and beefy to be able to power it, and that's where the Elite 100 V2 comes in. So you might be wondering, why would you use a power station? If the treadmill is 60 kilograms, you're clearly going to be using it in the house. Well, some people have got outhouses that don't have electricity running to it, so using a power station supplies all the power to that one part of the home. This is just showing you that if you had the Elite 100 V2, you've seen how efficient it runs this Walking Pad, so power is not going to be an issue. And also, don't forget, because it is a power station, you don't just need to use it for your gym, you could go camping with it as well because of the small form factor. So I showed you the Walking Pad that I was using for the West Highland Way. I've just put it side by side with the X218. There's no comparison, look at this. I think I know what one I'll be using for the rest of my training. So let's go into the pros and cons. First pro is build quality. This thing is solid. Another massive pro for me is that OLED screen, not LCD, OLED. The amount of information it gives you, the fact the OLED screen's got this LED strip that basically fills up with your progress as you're nearing the end of your run or your walk, that's pretty cool. Another massive pro for me is the fact that it's got Apple Watch support, and this last one's a massive pro for me. Although I'll be doing a lot of walking because I'm using this to train for the West Highland Way, I love the fact that this goes up to 18 kilometers per hour or 11.5 miles per hour. So this is good for running as well. So if you're training for a marathon or half marathon, or you just want to get back in shape, basically this will have you covered for running as well as walking. So let's go into the cons, and the first one has to be the hefty price tag for it. However, with that price tag, you are getting a quality product, so don't let the price put you off. The other con for me is it doesn't do incline. I didn't think it would looking at the bottom of it, but when I saw the OLED display and all the numbers, I thought, oh, this is going to have incline. But again, it's a Walking Pad, it's not a full-blown treadmill. I think another con for me is with the programs button, it gives you, the time, the speed, and it says P1, P2, P3, P4. It would have been nicer somewhere on that OLED screen if there was like a wee diagram to the ones that are on the manual where it just shows you the different gradient spikes of the speed going up and stuff. If you didn't have, say, the manual, how would you know what program 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 were? I mean, you could probably look at the app on the phone, but it would have been nice if it was just straight from here. And lastly, which is mind-boggling to me, is especially for the price, there's no cup holder or drinks holder. So a strange con for me is no cup holder. So what is my honest opinion on the Walking Pad X218? I love it. This is probably hands down the best Walking Pad treadmill I've ever used. I've never seen any with an OLED display, and I've never seen any with a rotary button in the middle with an LCD screen on it. The instructions that they give you as well are so clear and so precise. When I used to do maintenance on the other Walking Pad, it was just a complete palaver, trying to fix the belt, try to lubricate it and all that stuff. Whereas with this, it's really easy, as you saw. So for me, I'm a couple of months out before I go to the West Highland Way, and I know with this, I'm going to be in the best shape to do it. So thanks again, Walking Pad and Bluetti, for sending out the X218. This thing is going to help me massively for my training for the West Highland Way. So guys, if you want to go and pick this up for yourself, Walking Pad's given me a link that's in the description. This video has been a bit of a different one, so if you did enjoy it, why not drop it a wee like and let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, why not get subscribed and hit that bell notification so you're always notified when I drop a new video. So until the next one guys, peace.